Hello my dear students, welcome back to the channel BioPulse NEET Biology crash course in 40 days, that too line by line NCERT. Today is day 15 and we are discussing the most conceptual and then very easy chapter, I can say, that is the ecosystem. Have you ever wondered how nature maintains balance? How energy flows from the sun to the plants and then to us? Or else how every living and non-living things is connected in a perfect system. In this chapter, we will break down everything into simple tricks and then smart concepts, from food chains and then food webs to energy flow, ecological pyramids, decompositions, and many more. Don't worry, I have got you covered with easy shortcuts, memory tricks, and neat focused questions to help you revise faster and then very smarter. So grab your notebook, stay focused, and let's master the ecosystem in the smartest way as much as possible. So let's begin. Today, first question for today's concept is from the ecosystem structure and function. First question: the vertical distribution of different species occupying different levels is called as A. Standing crop, B. Standing state, C. Stratification, and then D. Decomposition. So here the right option is option C, stratification. What actually it is? In the study of an ecosystem's structure, stratification refers to the vertical layering of the habitat. That means the arrangement of vegetation in layers. It is determined by different heights to which various plants grow and different level at which various animals live. For example, if I take the forest as an example, top layer it will be having the tall trees, okay, forming the canopy, and then middle layer shrubs, and then small trees, I can say, and then bottom layer there will be herbs, grasses, and ground covering plants. So like that there will be three types of layer. So next question number 2: identification and enumeration of plant and animal species of an ecosystem gives its A. productivity, B. species composition, C. physical structure, and then D. vertical distribution. So here the correct answer is option B, species composition. What actually this species composition means? This term refers to the collection of different species that make up biological community by identifying and then counting, like you can identify and then count the different plants and then animal species in particular specific area. Okay, such kind of thing is said to be what? Species composition. Next question, that is third question: which one of the following is odd one out from other? Which one is odd, he is asking. A. decomposition, B. energy flow, C. nutrient cycling, and then D. none. So here the option is option D is correct. None of them are odd one. They are mean to be, means which one, why it is not having none? See, decomposition means the breaking of complex organic matter into inorganic substance, isn't it? And what about the energy flow? The energy flow is like it is a unidirectional movement of energy through tropic levels. Okay, what about the nutrient cycle? The storage and then movement of the nutrients through the ecosystem. So they are related to each other. Since decomposition, energy flow, and the nutrient solution all belong to the same category, that is the functional components of an ecosystem. None of them is an odd one. Next, the fourth one, the autotrophic components include what it is. The autotrophic components includes A. Phytoplanktons, B. Some algae, C. Marginal plants, and then D. All of this. So here the right option is D. All of them. Okay. Next question. The decomposers is or are the A. Fungi, B. Bacteria, C. Flagellates, and then D. All of this. So here the right option is D. All of this. Next question. Question number 6. The consumers is or are A. Zooplanktons, B. Phytoplanktons, C. Marginal plants, and then D. All of this. Here the right option is A. Zooplanktons. The consumers is zooplanktons. And the next question from the productivity. What is the basic requirement for any ecosystem to function and sustain? To function and then sustain. A. Primary production, B. Decomposers, and then C. Content input of solar energy, and then D. Nutrient cycle. Here the right option is C. Seventh question. Dash is defined as the amount of biomass or organic matter produced per unit area over time period by plants during photosynthesis. This one is A. Gross primary productivity, B. Primary production, C. Secondary production, D. None of this. Here the right option is option B. Primary production. Next question. Question number 9. Primary production is expressed as A. Kilocal meter square, B. Kilocal per meter square, and then C. Grams per meter square, and then D. Both B and C. Here the right option is option D. Both B and C. 10th one. Dash of an ecosystem is the rate of production of organic matter during photosynthesis. A. Net primary productivity, B. Secondary production, C. Gross primary productivity, and then D. None of this. Here the right option is option C. Gross primary productivity. 11th one. Net primary productivity NPP equals to A. NPP equals to R minus GPP, B. GPP minus R equals to MPP, C. NPP equals to GPP plus R, and then D. GPP equals to R minus NPP. And the right option here is answer B. The right option is what? Answer B, that is GPP minus R equals to NPP. And here in the this is the right option, and many of the time it is asked in the NEET question also. Next question, let me tell you the expansions. GPP means gross primary productivity, and then here R is responsible for respiration loss. Okay na? And then NPP you already know about that, net primary productivity. So the next question, that is question number 12. The rate of formation of new organic matter by consumer is called as A. Primary productivity, B. gross primary productivity, C. secondary productivity, and then D. respiratory loss. And then here the right option is option C, secondary productivity. Next, 13th question. Primary productivity depends on A. variety of environmental factors, B. availability of nutrients, C. photosynthetic capacity of plants, and then D. all of this. Here the right option is D. all of them are right. And the next question, that is question number 14. The annual net primary productivity of whole biosphere is approximately annual net primary productivity. A. 190 million tons, B. 170 million tons, and then C. 170 billion tons, and then D. none of this. Here the right option is option C. 170 billion tons. Next question from the decomposition, that is 15th question. Which one of the following is called as farmer's friend? Option A, cow, B, bacteria, C, earthworm, and then D, crops. Here the right option is earthworm. 16th one. Who breaks down the complex organic matter into inorganic substance like CO2, water, etc.? A. crop roots, B. decomposers, C. grazing cattle, and then D. none of them. Here the right option is decomposers. 17th one. The process of breaks down complex organic matter into inorganic substance is called as A. fragmentation, B. humification, and then C. decomposition, and then D. leaching. So here the right option is decomposition. Eighteenth question. Detritus is or are A. dead plant, B. dead animal, C. fecal matter, and then D. all of this. Here the right option is all of this. 19th one. The correct way of decomposition: A. fragmentation, leaching, humification, catabolism, and mineralization. Fragmentation, then next leaching, then next catabolism, humification, and mineralization. And then C. fragmentation, catabolism, leaching, mineralization, and humification. And then D. fragmentation, mineralization, catabolism, and leaching, and humification. So here the right option is option B. Next question. Dash break down detritus into small particles. Dash break down detritus into small particles. A. earthworm, B. detrivores, C. phytoplanktons, D. both A and B are correct. Here the right option is both. 21. Bacteria and fungal enzymes degrade detritus into simpler inorganic substance. This process is called A. leaching, B. fragmentation, C. catabolism, and then D. humification. Here the right option is B. fragmentation. Next, humification leads to accumulation of a dark colored amorphous substance called dash. A. pectin, B. humus, C. lignin, D. none of this. Here the right option is B. humus. Next, 23. Decomposition rate is slower if detritus rich in lignin and kinetin, or rich in nitrogen and sugar, low in nitrogen and chitin, low in lignin. Here the right option is A. If it is rich in lignin and chitin, decomposition rate will be slower. 24th, dash favors decomposition. A. Warm and dry environment. B. Warm and moist environment. C. Cold and dry. And then D. Cold and moist. Here the right option is B. Warm and moist environment. From the energy flow, 25. PAR stands for A. Percent active radiation. B. Photosynthetically active radiation. C. Power angel regulation. D. None of this. So here the right option is photosynthetically active radiation. PAR. 26. Plant capture only dash percent of PAR, and this amount of energy sustains the entire living world. 50 to 60, 40 to 80, 2 to 10, 8, 20 to 40%. Here the right option is only just 2 to 10% of PAR. Next question, that is question number 27. The green plant in ecosystem are called A. Primary consumer, B. Producer, C. Secondary consumer, D. None of this. Here the right option is producer, because green plant is the main base for the ecosystem which produce food for us. Next one, 28th question. Producer in an aquatic ecosystem. A. Phytoplankton, B. Algae, C. Zooplankton, D. Both A and B. Here the right option is D. Both A and B. 29. Generally, primary consumers will be A. Carnivores, B. Producers, C. Herbivores, and then D. All of these. Here the right option is C. That is herbivores. 30th one. In ecosystem, GFC stands for A. Generic flow control, B. Global Fund for Children, C. Grazing food chain, and then D. None of this. Here the right option is option C. 31. Decomposers are also known as A. Autotrophs, B. Standing crops, C. Saprophytes, and then D. None of this. Here the right option is option C. Saprophytes. 32. Based on the source of their nutrition or food, organisms occupy a specific place in the food chain that is known as their food web, trophic level, niche, and then eco level. Here the right option is option C. Niche. Match the following with column 2. Plants, carnivores, herbivores, and top carnivores. So here plants, that is for phytoplanktons. No, just a minute. Next question, match the following. 33th one, column 1 with column 2. Plants, here if I know any two, I can guess the right option. One is B. Phytoplankton, and in carnivore I can go with C, that is wolf. One is B, and then two is C. One is C. So first option is right. Each trophic level has a certain mass of living material at a particular time called as A. Biomass, B. Standing crop, C. Standing state, and then D. None of these. Here the right option is B. Standing crop. 35. The standing crop is measured as A. Mass of living organism, B. Biomass, C. The number of in a unit area, and then D, all of this. Here the right option is all of this. What actually standing crop means? It refers to a total amount of living material present in an ecosystem at a particular time. Okay, now it can be expressed and measured in several ways, like mass of living organism, the number of unit area, like that. 36th question. Choose the correct sequence. Choose the correct sequence. A. Producer, herbivore, primary carnivore and secondary carnivore. B. A itself is correct here. So for 36, option A is correct. Next, from the ecological pyramids, 37. Biological pyramids are A. Pyramid of number, B. Pyramid of energy, C. Pyramid of biomass, and then D. All of this. Here the correct option is D. The pyramid of biomass in C is always upright, generally inverted, C. Both A and B, and then D. None of this. Here the right option is option B. Generally inverted. Next question, 39. Pyramid of energy is always inverted, sometimes upright, always upright, sometimes inverted. So here the right option is option C. Identify the pyramid. Pyramid of number, biomass, energy, none of this. Here the right option is option B, biomass. See, this is upright. Next, 47. Identify the pyramid. Again, identify the pyramid. Pyramid of number, biomass, energy, none of this. Here the C, that is pyramid of energy. Next, 42. Identify the pyramid. Pyramid of number, biomass, energy. Here it is number. Pyramid of number. Next, from the ecological succession, 43. A community that is in nearly equilibrium with environment is called as pioneer community, middle community, climax community, and serre. Here the right option is climax community. 44th one. The gradual and fairly predictable change in a species composition of a given area is called hierarch succession, ecological, pioneer, none of this. Here the right option is option B, ecological succession. 45. The entire sequence of communities that successively change in a given area are called ecosystem, B. Pioneer, C. Serre, and then D. All of this. Here the right option is Serre. 46. Areas where primary succession occurs. A. Bare rock, newly cooled lava, newly created pond, all of this. Here the right option is D. Next question, 47. Secondary succession begins in areas where no living organisms are there, lost all the living organisms. C. Natural biotic communities have been destroyed. D. Both B and C. Here the right option is D. Both B and C. 48. Areas where secondary succession occurs. A. Burned and cut forest areas. B. Land that have been flooded. C. Abundant farm lands, and then D. All of are correct. C. Here the correct option is D. 49. Select the correct statement. Secondary succession is faster than primary. Primary is faster. Both are equal. None of this. Here the right option is A. 50th one. The individual transitional communities are termed as serial stage, pioneer, serral community. Both A and C are correct. Here the right option is D. Now questions from succession of the plants. 51. Which type of succession takes place in wet areas? A. Hydrarch succession. B. Xeric massage, and then none of this. Here the right option is A. Hydrarch succession. 52. Xeric succession occurs in wet area, cold area, dry area, all of this. Here the right option is C. Dry area. Xeric means dry. 53. The species that invade a bare area called Sere, pioneer species, climax species, none of this. Here the right option is option B. 54. In hierarch succession, the successional series program from mesic to hydric, hydric to mesic, hydric to pterix, and then xeric to mesic. So here the right option is hydric to mesic, that is B. Next 55. In xeric succession, the succession series progress from xeric to hydric, xeric to mesic, mesic to xeric, none of this. Here the right option is B. Which one of the following occur as a pioneer species on rocks? Bryophytes, phytoplanktons, lichens, and then blue-green alga. So here the right option is bryophytes. Next, choose the correct sequence. Phytoplankton, rooted submerged plants, rooted floating angiosperms, free floating plants, and then reed swamp, marsh meadow, scrub, the trees, and then forest. This is the final one. 58. Choose the correct statement. All succession, whether taking place in water or on land, proceed to a different climax community. B. All succession, whether takes place in water or not on the land, proceed to be a similar climax community. This mesic. C. All the succession, whether taking place in the water or on land, proceeds to a similar climax community, that is xeric. So here the right option is option B. Next, which one of the following is not the part of hydrarch succession? A. Scrub, B. Tree, C. Zooplankton, D. Submerged plant stage. Here the right is zooplankton. During succession, some species colonize an area and their population become more numerous, whereas population of other species increase, decline, migrate, none of this. Here the right option is B. Decline and even disappear. 61. Why does secondary succession is faster? A. Because soil is already there. B. They have special power. C. Growth of plant is slower, and then D. All of this. Here the right option is because soil is already there. Next 62. The climax community remains dash as long as the environment remains stable and unchanged. 63. The word used for medium water condition. A. Xeric, hydric, mesic, none of this. Option B is right. Choose the correct sequence. 1. Lichens, grasses, bryophytes, higher plants, and forest. Here the right option is B. 1, 3, 2, 4, and then 5. 65. In hydrarch succession, after climax with time and then water body is converted into river, ocean, land, none of this. Here the right option is land. In hydrarch succession, the pioneer and climax community are respectively phytoplanktons and forest. From nutrient cycling, 67. The amount of nutrients such as carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, etc. are present in the soil at any given time is referred to as nutrient cycle. Standing crop, standing state, and then none of this. Here the right option is Option C. Next question. 68. Standing state varies in different kind of ecosystem on a session basic. 6. Different kind of nutrients, and then D, both A and B. Here the right option is both A and B. Next, the movement of nutrient elements through the various components of an ecosystem can be called as nutrient cycling. So make a small change here. Here the right option is option B. 17th one. Another name of nutrient cycle is gaseous cycle, biological cycle, biogeochemical cycle, and biophysical. Here the right option is biogeochemical cycle. 71. Reservoir for gaseous type of nutrient cycle: A, earth crust, B, rock, C, atmosphere, D, water bodies. So here the right option is C, atmosphere. Reservoir for sedimentary type of nutrient cycling: ocean, earth's crust, rock, atmosphere. Here the right option is B. 673. Environmental factor to regulate the rate of release of nutrients into the atmosphere: A, soil, moisture, temperature, and pH. So D, all of this. Right option is D, all of this. 74. Reason behind nutrients never lost from ecosystem: because nutrients present in large amount, because they are recycled, because they have no use. So here the right option is B, because they are recycled. Now ecosystem and carbon cycle. 75% of carbon constitute in dry weight of organism: 60, 39%, 49, and 71. Right option is C, 49%. Which is the first and then second most abundant constituent of an organism means water and carbon. 77. How much of total quantity of global carbon is dissolved in oceans? 88, 75, 81, 71. Here the right option is 71% of total quantity of global carbon is dissolved in oceans. Carbon cycling occurs through atmosphere, living and dead organism, ocean, all of this. So here the right option is all of these. How much at carbon is infixed annually in the biosphere through photosynthesis? 8 into 1012 kg, 4 into 1012 kg, 4 into 1013 kg, 4.9 into 10 kgs. Here the right option is C. 80th one. Additional source for releasing CO2 in the atmosphere is burning of food, forest fire, fossil fuel, and then D, all of this. Right option is D. 81. Human activities have significantly increased the rate of release of CO2 into the atmosphere by A, rapid deforestation, B, massive burning of fossil, C, both A and B, D, none of the above. So here the right option is C. From phosphorus cycle. 82. Phosphorus is a major constituent of biological membrane, nucleic acid, cellular energy transfer unit, all of the above, all of the above. 83. Rock is natural reservoir of carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, none of this. It is phosphorus reservoir. Herbivores and other animals obtain phosphorus from rock, plant, ocean, and lake. From the plants. 85. The waste products and then dead organism are decomposed by releasing phosphorus. A. Fungi, phosphate solubilizing bacteria, phosphate unsolubilizing bacteria. So here the right option is B. 86. Choose the correct statement. Among them, A is correct one. 87. Choose the more correct statement. Gases exchange at phosphorus between organism and environment are very high. Gases exchange of phosphorus between organism and environment are low. So here the right option is C, that is gases exchange at the phosphorus versus organism and environment are negligible. 88. In natural reservoir, phosphorus present in the form of phosphite, pyrophosphate, phosphate, none of above. So here the right option is C. 89. Choose the correct statement. A. Value of ecosystem services at biodiversity is difficult to determine. B. Value of ecosystem service of a biodiversity is very easy to determine. C. No need to determine the value of ecosystem service. So here the right option is A itself. 90. Which one of the following is not the gaseous nutrient cycle? Oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, none of the above. Sulfur cycle is not a gaseous nutrient cycle. 91. Animals need large quantities of phosphorus to make shells, teeth, bones, etc. All of the above. So here the right option is all of the above. They need phosphorus to make shells, teeth and bones. From ecosystem service, the product of ecosystem processes are named as environmental service, ecosystem goods, ecosystem service, and then D, all of the above. Here the right option is C. 93. Healthy ecosystems are the base for a wide range of economic, environmental, aesthetic goods and then service, all of the above. Here the right option is D. 34. Examples of ecosystem service is healthy forest ecosystem, purify air and then water, generate fertile soil, provide storage site for the carbon. So D is right. 95. Dash and his colleagues have very recently tried to put price tags on nature's life support service. Robert Frost, Robert Constanza, Robert Hooke, Robert Clive. Here the right option is B. 96. Researchers have put an average price tag of dash a year on fundamental ecosystem service, that is US dollars 33 billion, US dollars 44 billion, 44 trillion and 33 trillion. So right option is D. GNP stands for Grand National Product, Gross National Product, Gross National Products, and none of this. Here the right option is B. 98. Out of the total cost at various economic ecosystem surveys, the soil formation accounts for about 40, 60, 50 and 30. Here the right option is 50%. 99. The cost of climate regulation and habitat for the wildlife are 8%, 6, 6. Here the right option is C. 101. The value of global GNP, that is US dollars 28 trillion, US dollar 18 billion, US dollars 33 trillion, US dollars 18 trillion. So here the right option is option D. And this is this one century question and then last question of today's session, that is day 15 of ecosystem. Bye bye. Take care.